right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, and with me I have Retro Nerd Girl and her of positive fandom here with me to do our deep dive review of The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1, titled The Apostate. So, first of all, how are you ladies doing?
I'm doing real good. I'm so excited to talk about this.
Me too. As you guys know, I'm a Grogu super fan. I am a Mandalorian super fan. So it's back finally. All is well in entertainment.
He is definitely both of them have been missed. I've missed the Mandalorian. I've missed Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, because I claim that he is a member of House Slytherin.
Yeah, he has some characteristics.
Yes. Yes. As a matter of fact, there's this one lady who she's usually over at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter quite often, and she has the big Baby Yoda doll dressed in Slytherin robes.
Oh, wow, how cute!
The cutest thing ever.
Oh my God, that is so cute. Wow.
Oh, well, folks, we do a deep dive. Oh, look at Mary. Reminds me that mine is still in storage.
Oh, he's so adorable.
And he's so cute. I have the same one. He's just so precious. He's so precious. I have the stuffed one with the Christmas sweater, and I wanted to keep it for myself, but my niece saw it and she wanted it. So
that's so nice of you.
Let it go. But
you're a nice auntie.
That's right.
If I didn't have the one that Herm has, I would have kept it. Shoot. Totally would have kept it because he's so cute. He just is.
Yeah. I was actually gonna get one for the show, but I was like, oh well, maybe next week. I'm trying to save up for it.
Oh, we got to eventually have. So we all have, our baby Yodas with us for the show. So, folks, we are going to do a deep dive of this episode, and what that means is we just kind of scrub through the episode, give you some visuals, and we kind of just take our time reviewing it. So again, this is episode 1 of season 3, called The Apostate, and in the beginning of the episode, it opens up with one of my favorite characters doing what she does best, and that would be the armorer. So what do you ladies think about how this episode opened?
Well, I thought it was great. And I think one of the things that they absolutely have to start doing or may start to focus on is showing more Mandalorian cultural events. And we need to see this. And another thing that I also liked about this opening sequence is because in the previous seasons, we didn't know exactly how many of the Watch, group, the clan, actually had survived since Mando and Grogu had to kind of run away. They used to be in that underground enclave, and now all of a sudden they're outside, and things kind of, it seems like a bright sunny day. It's a celebratory event. Things are looking up. It looks like the clan is growing. This, we didn't even know how many had survived. Remember, they had all those helmets in a pile, and it looks
yes. Really oh, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah. It was, but now this is kind of like a celebratory day. We see one of the young lings, or I'm not quite sure whether he's adopted or not, but despite the fact, he's getting his helmet, and it's a celebration, and it feels so good to celebrate, there. So I think it's wonderful, and a much brighter, happier tone to start off with.
Yeah, I agree completely. At first, I thought this was a flashback. I thought it was Din, reviewing something in his mind, and seeing the armorer there. I was like, oh well, she's really old, and she was, So I was like, dang. So he's known her his whole life, and then when it just turned out that it was a new child that was being sort of given the initiation into fully becoming a Mandalorian, I was happy actually, because I was like, oh, thank God, because I was like, I didn't want her to, I wanted her to be like kind of I didn't want her to be that old, you know. I didn't want him to be like a mother, but I wanted her to be kind of contemporary to him. And I really I enjoyed the scene for the cultural piece as well. I love learning about new cultures, even make believe ones. And the Watch is, you know, has been portrayed as sort of a zealous group of sort of you know, over enthusiastic about their religious beliefs and their spirituality, and I really want to learn more about that. And I'm hoping this season we get more into their rituals and their spirituality and that kind of thing. So this was a little taste of what I hope they will go deeper into. So it was great. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree with you, ladies. When I first saw the opening, I'm like, oh, was this a flashback? Especially since it was a brand new, shiny helmet, no blast marks on it. I'm like, oh, maybe it's just a just a flashback to Din Djarin, you know, making, or well, we'll say making his oath or whatever, that he would be Mandalorian, that he wouldn't take his helmet off. And I just thought that it was really good seeing like the camaraderie around there, that they're bringing in this new, you know, new initiative. I have not read the EU novels about the Mandalorian. So one of the reasons I'm interested in this show is to find out more about the Mandalorian culture. So when you're looking at this, and I thought it was him, but it's just, and I honestly, I thought that was Din Djarin for the longest time.
He does look like him. He looks like the same kid almost.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, I thought it was him. I totally
also looks like the kid from Andor, the younger Cassian character. He also looks like that kid. So they all look alike. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, they're all starting to look like clones, you know, because he had this like defiant look on his face, like, yes, because you know, Din Djarin, he's very proud to be a Mandalorian, especially since he's a foundling. And I'm just like, oh, this is great. You know, everybody's happy. The cake's coming out.
A heavy Mando out there too. The other Mandalorians dressed in their garb.
It's a
bunch of them. It's a bunch of them. It feels really good.
One of them, and everything's well and good until, you know, the kaiju crocagator comes out of the water. I was not expecting. I was not expecting
Florida Man. This is not Florida Man.
No, I was confused for a minute. I'm like, what? I don't remember this at all. And yeah, it's like a big huge crocagator comes out of the water, and of course, you know, everyone's trying to, you know, protect the youngling, protect the other, you know, the more vulnerable, and they all basically go into action to take this thing down. My favorite being, you know, the jetpack brigade.
Yeah, to the sky. I love that part.
Oh,
I was like, yeah, do it.
It was just great. What did you think of this scene? Because this was like action out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting. It looks so calm and tranquil, but of course, it's foreshadowing of where the Mandalorians get kind of hit when they try to maintain their cultural practices. I think that maybe that's the weakness of this group. And the Watch, it's a, you know, if you look at it from that point of view, that their beliefs might be so stringent that it'll be their downfall. They're going to lose, or at least not be, you know, the group that's the dominating group because of their stringent beliefs.
You know, I have to give Lucasfilm some props right here, because this creature looked a lot more believable than the crate dragon. Looked a lot more believable than the crate dragon. It actually seemed like it was a pretty formidable foe. So I have to give kudos to them, because this was actually a pretty good special effects job. Something that looked like it was familiar yet alien at the same time, you know. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think that the crate dragon looked like they had stolen it from Hogwarts. What was it? Which movie was it?
I think it was Dune.
It was the which Harry Potter film was it? It was the where they had the snake.
Oh, the basilisk.
Yeah, it looks like. Did it look like the basilisk to you?
It moved like the basilisk, and the way it opened up in the sand, I thought it was the sandworm from Dune. It did. Oh, yeah. I was not under the impression that the crate dragon was going to be like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think they could have done a little better job with it. This thing looks like you can't beat it. Like those giant plaques on its back for the skin to protect it, and they're like shooting at it, and it's like just eating them and slicing them up and flipping around and doing those. It did the twirl, that where crocodiles do that naturally.
Yeah, it did that tail smash. I'm like, oh shoot, watch out for the tail. Too late. All right. All right.
So one thing that they didn't do is they didn't run away. They decided to all face it.
That is true.
Speaks very highly of their courage. Like, I mean, I think the natural response would be to like, let's run and, let's get away from this thing. But no, they were like, let's take it down. And I really love that energy because it just shows you that these guys, they didn't have a chance against it, but they were just going to try anyway. And that was just part of their conditioning as warriors, So I did enjoy that aspect of it.
Yeah, they were going down swinging, which is a testament to, like you were saying, Retro Nerd Girl, about their warrior culture.
Yeah. Man, that's what I like about the Mandalorians in general. They're just fierce, They
are badass.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And here was the part where I realized that wasn't Din Djarin. Not by any sense of the word. And he swoops in, and basically we have Crocagator barbecue right now. That's kind of like what happened.
That's a meal for them for a long time.
Yeah,
we got supper.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, wow, y'all got dinner for a long time.
And to think of it, that may be another reason why they didn't run away. They're like, wait a minute. This is a meal. I didn't even think about it, but this could be another reason why they didn't leave or try to flee. They were like, well, hey, we can feed the entire clan with this meat.
Absolutely, and thank goodness though that Din and Grogu showed up when they did, because they were losing. A few of them got knocked around pretty hard. I mean, they can take a licking, but they needed some assistance, and they some blasters and blew it up. But it's funny the way that Din arrives, because he's not quite. He still kind of feels like an outsider. He grew up with these people. It's weird, and it does not feel like 2 years to me.
No. And that was one of the things that I had a problem with, even though I know, like I actually had the benefit of actually binge watching the first season, second season, and the last couple of episodes of Boba Fett. It just felt like there was something missing. I really wanted more context as to what happened in these 2 years when Yoda, sweet little Yoda, was or Grogu was training with Luke Skywalker. Like what was going on for Din Djarin? Like I know there was a couple of scenes where you see that he is he's fighting for the right to hold, have the sword and
dark saber.
Yeah, the dark saber, and also he's also you know, he makes that shape of something, and it's like the shape of Grogu's head, and he's like, you know, he's missing him, but I just wanted a little more meat on my bones there. And so, but the story does really feel like time really didn't pass at all when, you know, season 3, episode 1 shows up. It just feels like a continuation of the story, like maybe a few months later.
Yeah, and that's the problem with breaking it up the way they did to save the Book of Boba Fett, is that those are the episodes that they should have started off with.
Yeah.
And then we would have at least got a sense that, oh, you know, maybe 6 months or a year has passed by. And now we're back with the armorer, and, you know, Mando has to do something else besides whatever it is he's been doing, because I'm guessing that the bounty hunter job, you know, he's like, yeah, maybe I don't want to be a bounty hunter anymore. Maybe I want to do something different. And I'm sure whatever he is doing, perhaps the clan, you know, since he may not have, he's not as tight with them anymore. You know, it could cause a problem, because I have a feeling they used to pool resources, right? You remember he would show up and he used to give whatever money he made.
That's right.
It was like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it was kind of cultish, because, you know, like collectively he gave everything he had, or maybe not everything, but a lot, to the, you know, the group. And she's like, well, you know, there's enough for you to make a weapon for the side of your arm. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, there's enough probably to like buy a small planet with what he brought in, you know, like it was so much money. It was probably enough to do much more. So financially, not just him, and probably the other Mandalorians have brought in a bankroll, a good bankroll for them. But they do kind of feel like they're a little, you know, they lost their main place where they were. So maybe they also blame him a little bit for that too. You know, that underground cavern, they're not there anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So there's kind of this, you remember Paz Vizsla was not happy with him. And he challenged him with the sword. He knew how to use it. The armorer knew how to use it. And yet, despite all the stuff that Din is doing, the armorer is still like holding back a lot of information from him. She doesn't want him to know everything that's going on. We don't know who she is. It is quite confusing. And, you know, it's kind of tough to see Din Djarin kind of navigating these waters without knowing the full story.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very interesting point. And you're right. It's like the armor does hold back information from him. And I don't know. I think it is more of a tactical move because of what has happened and what has transpired. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when Din Djarin had to get his ship repaired, he was like, that's a lot of credits, or something to that effect. So I agree with you. I think that in the beginning, you know, all the Mandalorians kind of pulled their resources together. And now that Din's kind of like a clan of two and he's kind of out of the loop, so to speak, he doesn't have that, I guess, disposable income to kind of, or we'll say the financial pot for him to dip into, you know, the community pot, the community, I guess the community fund, you know, like in Monopoly, the community fund. So he can't really tap into that right now. And with him coming back, because you know what she told him is like, if you took, basically, I'm paraphrasing, you take your helmet off, you're no longer a Mandalorian. And he doesn't have that we'll say that family tie anymore, but he comes to see the armorer and he's just like, what do I have to do in order to redeem myself? Now, what did you ladies think of what the armorer told him?
Well, this is very interesting too, because let's just be honest about this. This is a situation where she thought she was going to tell him that it's no longer possible because our homeworld's been destroyed, and that's pretty much usually the end of a conversation. But then Mando's like, oh, well, you know, I have proof that the homeworld may not be destroyed and poisoned. And she was not expecting him to say that. And I think she was expecting, you know, telling him this story, which may or may not be true, let's say, regardless of what the situation is. She was not expecting him to even want to think about taking on the challenge of trying to redeem himself. As far as she's concerned, and as far as I'm concerned, this is like one of those Pandora box situations. Like, you can't really ever accomplish this. And yet this is what he's trying to accomplish, the impossible. Why is it that he's in a situation now where it's really like, it seems like it's going to be impossible? So I think that she knows something very specific about the planet not being destroyed. They're keeping people away from whatever it is. And she figures, she tells him this, he's not going to want to do it. He says, I'll do it. And she's like, all right, this is the way. She has no other recourse now, no other way to keep him away or anybody else who might want to go to the home world and see what's down there. And to be honest with you, it's just such it seems like an impossible task. So I'm going to have to assume that what he's looking for, he's not going to find. And whatever he does find is going to be 10,000 times worse, but he's not going to be able to redeem himself, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that is a fascinating idea that you have there. I didn't think about the fact that she might be, holding back information because she doesn't want anyone to find something. And I mean, that really throws a monkey wrench in a lot of, like what you can expect. I thought, because the way it looks like he's going to go back there, obviously, I mean, I'm just saying obviously because I'm just feeling like he's going to get into trouble and he's going to need help. And some maybe Bo-Katan or one of the other characters will come save him because he's a they're in a weird way, they're the only people that they have in the universe, in the system. They don't have not everybody has their interests at heart, but at least this one person that they're willing to throw out still cares about them and comes in and saves them every once in a while and donates to to the younglings and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to see what actually happens here. This is really fascinating to me, and it's good that the story is working itself out like this because I feel like each season, the Mandalorian had a specific goal that he started out with, and then it turned into something else. Like, the first season, he wanted to become, he just wanted a job, and the job turned out to be the child. And then he fell in love with the child and wanted to save the child, right? And then season 2 was about finding a place for the child. And, he ended up, like, again, falling deeper into this, father role that, that he didn't expect to have. So I'm like, this time he's motivated to find redemption with his people. And I'm just curious what that's going to mature into. Because I'm down for it. I'm down for the story. Give me the story.
I would have to agree with you on that. My biggest beef with season 2 is that the premiere was extremely lackluster. It didn't feel like there were any stakes involved. That should start out with a bang. And this one pretty much did that, with Din Djarin showing up at the last minute to basically, save the clan that was there. Then he's talking about, I need to get, I want to get redemption. So that's already is he gonna do that? Is he gonna achieve that? And when the armor tells him, yeah, okay, well, you have to wash yourself in the waters of the home world and whatever. And it's just like, they're not there anymore. Just like, well, this is the way. Well, he actually brings something like, this is probably true proof that it's still there. And so we're thinking, is it possible that it's still there? So it's that hook that says, okay, I need to find out where this goes, because there is that outside chance. What if he goes there and he goes through all of this and it's useless? Or the armor basically says, we're just supposed to tell people that, but no. Nah,
Yeah.
just not gonna
Or he can get there and the world has repaired itself. And he's, and it's not poisoned anymore, and so on and so forth. I mean, that's a possibility, which would allow the Mandalorians to have a home again, and regroup. And, I'm not sure. I don't see Din as a leader, not because I don't think he can do it. I don't think he would want to do it. I think he likes roaming. I think he likes, traversing the galaxy and being his own boss instead of, being tied down to anything. But he could certainly get kind of combine everybody, get everybody together and start working together. And maybe the key to that is Bo-Katan. I think she's a big unused resource when it comes to like for getting all the Mandalorians together. And we'll get to it, I guess, when we get to talk about her. But I don't want to get too far into it. But yeah, I mean that could be something.
Yeah, you make a good point with that. I mean, obviously he needs people behind him more than the people from the Watch, because remember, this clan that he's a part of, they don't believe anybody else are Mandalorians.
Yes.
So it's just them, and there just isn't enough of them in order to really start anything. They're, at least from what we know, we don't even know whether any of them know how many there are of them. And it is kind of weird not knowing, having a lot of basic info that he should have at his disposal. So it does kind of ring a little odd. And it's because their group is very specific, but there's a reason, I think, maybe one of the reasons why they don't take the helmets off and aren't looking at one another is because, we don't know the armorer's identity because she hasn't taken her helmet off. We don't know who she is. And there may be a reason why she is trying to keep her identity a secret too.
And another thing that I had just thought of, especially considering how legalistic this particular group of Mandalorians are, maybe it's also the control of information. Maybe they don't want their people going to their home world to find out what happened, because they're just like, what if they know? What if they know the truth? And what if we're exposed? Kind of like sowing that disinformation, kind of like in the first Planet of the Apes movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
So that
a great idea. Yeah, because if they're keeping secrets, and because they are so closed off from everyone, that would make a lot more sense. And again, I would love for them to get into like, why are we not removing our helmets?
Yes.
And what are the circumstances you can remove it? Because obviously you have to for certain things.
Yeah, you gotta eat. Shoot. I don't know.
What if two Mandalorians want to, get romantic?
Kind of hard to do that, banging helmets together. It's kind of hard to get.
They keep the lights off, I guess.
Well, moving on, Din Djarin and of course Grogu, they show back up in Navarro actually, which looks much different than the last time we were there. Oh, he's so darn cute. He was so cute looking at the I kept calling it the space whale, but I think maybe it was the reflection of the ship in space. Yeah,
it is a space whale.
It's a space whale.
It's a space whale. Yeah.
Well, okay.
You got it right, Lorena. You were right.
I was. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yes. You saw it, Lorena. You saw it.
I cannot remember either it was a cartoon or an anime, but I swear it was like shot for shot the same thing. I can't remember where the heck I saw it.
It was in Rebels.
Oh, I didn't even watch Rebels.
Well, it was how Ezra Bridger got away from Thrawn. The Purgles are these creatures that can move through hyperspace, and he rescued them, and they got away. But for some reason, Grogu can see them in hyperspace.
Yeah. And I think that's just like a foreshadow. I hope it is a foreshadow of something coming up in, in this season. If so, they shouldn't have it there. That's bad storytelling. You don't put things in there that you don't need.
Yeah, and spend that much time with him just, it's not like he's just looking at it just to look at it. Like he is mesmerized by it.
I think he's even connecting,
Yeah.
Probably. And he went down into the cockpit to speak to Mando about it, but Mando's like, he's sleeping.
He's like,
like, Daddy, I saw something.
Yes.
Like, yeah, that's cute, guys. He's so cute. But yeah, Navarre looks much different than it did before. It's, it's nice. It's cleaned up. You've got protocol droids. It's what? I'm sorry, it's what?
It's been rebranded.
Yes, yes. It's been rebranded and just now looks like this bustling port city. Okay, for some reason I had to laugh at this.
It was hilarious.
Them free in the trees though, because they look so happy.
So many salacious crumbs up in the tree, and I'm thinking, long as it doesn't throw anything at you, I don't trust them.
Well, it's better not to see them on spikes as food.
That is true.
That was a bit traumatic.
Yeah,
I just wanted them to like squeal into laughter just once.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity because I was just waiting for that when you see them like up in the trees like that. They're like harassing people, and everything. But I just thought, it's just interesting to see how life on Navarre has changed. And the protocol droid is basically, the hype man talking about all the great things about Navarre. Go and soak in the geothermal springs.
Yeah, he was selling it like it was a vacation spot. Like, oh, you're gonna love this. You can wait till you see what we've done. You can live like king of the manor, and this is just the best place ever. And come in the deal now. I got a great lot for you. He's.
Look! Do you notice that those are stormtrooper helmets there?
Yes.
Oh my gosh! I just noticed that.
He went from being a bounty hunter broker to a time, like selling timeshare or something.
Yes, that's exactly it. His protocol has changed.
That's right. That's right.
But that's a good eye, Retro Nerd Girl. I did not, and I saw this episode twice, and it did not hit me that those were stormtrooper helmets that this robot is standing on. And for those who don't remember, I'm trying to see if I can actually get a picture of them. But you guys remember IG-11?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. IG-11, who was, the kamikaze true Terminator, I want to say Terminator droid, who I got to give Lucasfilm props. I mean, IG-88, I was like, yeah, whatever. But IG-11, that droid was lethal as nobody's freaking business.
Oh, yeah.
So scary, just powerful. And he had different phases where at first you encountered him and he's challenging Mando to get Grogu, and then Will reprograms him, so to speak. And then he sacrifices himself by blowing up all those stormtroopers who are at the base there.
Exactly.
Legs. But I think it's great that they put a memorial to him, because he pretty much, helped expose that whatever mining place was on Navarro and got rid of those baddies. So everybody's grateful to him.
Yeah. Very courageous. And the thing is, you want this guy on your team. Like, even in the first time we meet him, him and Din decide that they're going to work together, and what a team did they make, just for that few moments, until he went bad again. But he was fantastic. It was just like, wow, this guy is really incredible. I hope they keep him around. And I'm really hoping that, that they do put him back together again, and he can be salvaged somehow, even though they went through this scary moment. Because I don't know if you guys remember in season 1, Quill said the way he was able to reprogram the robot, or IG-11, was to nurse him into who he was to become. He taught him how to walk and to do all those things, like that, all the functions that he needed to do. And I hope that there's maybe a montage or two with Grogu and and then, like, trying to giving this robot the care that it takes to have a friend. And so that's something I was like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna go that route, or maybe they won't, but it would be interesting if they did.
Well, it's interesting because, of course, we meet Grief Karga, who looks all bureaucrated out here.
Yes. He has a lot of Lando Calrissian vibes there.
Very much. When he comes walking out, he's got these flowing, it's not a cape, he's got these flowing robes, and he's just like, welcome to my town. Isn't it cleaned up nicely? So they're kind of glad to see each other. And, he's talking about how different things have been, since he was last there. And of course, they catch us up on what's been going on. Cara Dune is with the Special Forces. So she's not there. And I'm forgetting what they said about the other
Moff Gideon is a New Republic. He's been brought to a New Republic crime unit where they're going.
Oh, yeah. He's on the military tribunal.
Yes.
Well, tribunal from the New Republic. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. And then, of course, here Grief kind of gives him, the time to yourself. Just settle down. We've got this great track. You can hang up your blaster and, just live off the fat of the land.
He really does sell a good. I was looking at purchasing some property on Navarro. So, it sounded good to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can tell that this is not what Din wants, though. I mean, I just see him as somebody who is more a freer spirit than to, settle down in such a palace like that, But I think for the sake of Grogu, maybe he would make a choice like that,
Absolutely, you would think so, but he's kind of just like with something about him, he's just like, I can't. Mainly because I think he just feels like he just has to redeem who he is.
Yes.
Because that's such a core part of his identity that he feels that he can't truly be the person he needs to be unless he finds this way, to redemption. And he's very polite listening to him, because they have a previous working relationship, but it's just like, I can't do that. I have something else to do. Although I like the line where Grief Karga was basically calling him a little critter, and then he's like, no, his name's Grogu. What?
Yeah.
It's got a name. What?
You named him?
Yeah. Now you won't get rid of him because you named him. But I thought that was a creative piece of dialogue to put in there, because I forgot that he hasn't seen him. It's like, was just a child for the longest time. And I guess everyone had their nicknames for him. And now he actually has a proper name now.
Absolutely. And it's been 2 years, and now we can kind of see that it's been a little while since they've seen each other. And I guess maybe it does make sense. He does this little Grogu spinning around in the chair like a kid would do. He wants a snack and he just takes it. Now he's like, screw this. I want snacks. I'm going to go ahead and take some snacks and enjoy
Oh,
myself.
cute.
And Mando
like,
stopped him from spinning around. He's like, all right, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get me a piece of candy. Which you totally expected him to do.
Yeah.
And you can see he's more comfortable using the Force. Maybe he uses it all the time.
Yes, yes. Because I think that was the biggest thing, was like every time he used the Force, he fell asleep. And I think the more he uses it, the less he'll have those moments of fatigue, you know. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Do you think that maybe because of maybe partially due to the Jedi training that he had with Luke?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, yes. Now, yeah, he's stronger. I mean, well, after the Jedi training with Luke, he still fell out when he in Book of Boba Fett when he faced up against that huge monster. But I think it was the sheer size of that thing and exerting it so much that really tired him out. And now with all the practice he's gotten, he's, you know, he won't have to fall asleep for every single time he uses, you know, the Force. So he should be getting really much stronger. And nobody's to tell him that he can't do it or he shouldn't do it either. So, you know, Did is like, yeah, have fun at it. Keep doing it.
Just don't choke people out unless
And Din has to be there to kind of watch him, to tell him very specific things like that, you know, make sure he's not doing anything wrong. Someone has to watch Grogu, watch him very carefully, because he could kind of do some serious damage even to himself if he's not careful. Grogu could really hurt himself too. So there could be a lot of repercussions to what Grogu is doing with his powers.
Yeah.
Right.
So true.
Right. Of course, they had like pirates showing up, you know.
These guys.
Kind of like Carla's old life in a way. Well, not old life, because he was like the bounty hunter handler, you know, kind of like that. He wasn't really a pirate. He probably had to deal with them when Navarro was not the somewhat respectable place, you know, that it is now. But it was very interesting because they found out very, very quickly that Karga used to be about that life.
Yeah, he was living the life. He was living the life. He, you know, essentially these bounty hunters are down and out since Navarro's gone legit, okay? And they're like, hey, you got to share some of the wealth. You guys, look, this is all prosperous. It's looking good. Look at this place. Come on, where's the money coming from? But what they obviously know that the New Republic is heavily involved in having this as a more legitimate trade center, a legitimate center. Bring the family, you know, like this whole thing has been completely changed. And these pirates are like, I'm not buying this. It's been a while, but come on, Mando's here. There must be something going on. I wouldn't be surprised if they saw Mando's ship and said, there must be something going on. I bet you there's some big deal. You know, a lot of things could be going through their mind, but I guess the pirates will play some special role at some point in the story.
Yeah, I mean, they're a nuisance. I hate them. I'm like, get those pirates. And I do have a bone to pick because, you know, where's the security? Now I know he was looking for a deputy, which is, you know, previously was held by Cara Dune.
Right.
And he hasn't, it's been 2 years. And you should at least have a police force of some kind, like some sort of security. And he's great. You know, definitely a great shooter. He's a precise shooter.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's not enough to just have him be there.
Yeah, the protocol droid is not going to do it. Like, you know,
no.
Like, enter. This is a school. No, that's not gonna keep these pirates out forever. They're like, where's my drink? That's my table over there. What's going on? You know, but there might be some other thing, maybe, and I don't know if this is true or not. Maybe Grief Karga did make a deal somehow at some point of years ago, and these guys are kind of coming back for payment for something, but they want to take over Navarro for their own means. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there needs, the conversation really went towards sort of like, I want to go and sit at the bar and I want to enjoy the bar. And I think maybe it was a misdirect or something, because, you know, obviously they're there for something. But if so, like, make your desires known. At least you can get, like, you might get what you want. But instead, all of his friends, you know, died in the process. And then even more pirates died, you know, because there just wasn't a definite idea of what it was they wanted. If it was riches or, you know, what exactly are their demands. But I do think that they will return for revenge. And, you know, then Din is going to have to step in and take care of them ultimately, in the most savage way possible.
Yeah, because these guys messed around and found out.
Yeah.
I will shoot you.
That's right.
But I mean, I know he was, you know, Grief was trying to be a little diplomatic, and he was saying, well, we'll let them live, you know, to spread the word. And I'm like, not that one. He's the most, you killed that one and let one of the other ones that are quiet go.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
the one with the big mouth, you get that one first.
You know what? You should have, like, shot him and then said, you know, let that be a lesson to you. Don't come here causing trouble. And let that work instead. But he's kind of talking like, oh, no, kind of negotiate. No, you don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't negotiate with terrorists. Okay, how do you like the little droids holding up his cape?
So cute.
It's very Huggy Bear. It's very, you know, kind of like, you know, you can just hear the music in the background. Oh, yes. That's great. You know, it's going to be Action Jackson on Navarro all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I thought it was really cute that he wanted to be called the High Magistrate. He kept on, like, emphasizing, like, it's High Magistrate.
Get it right. Get it right. You have to say all of it.
They get the facts right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really, Carl Weathers, man.
He looks good.
Incredible. And you know, I know he did direct a few of the episodes previously, and his acting throughout the entire series, the multiple series that we've had, has been really stellar. So I'm really super impressed by him.
I am as well. I mean, they had two heavyweights in the series, because they had Carl Weathers. They also had Giancarlo Esposito as well. I'm so sad to see Moff Gideon go, because I really did like him. But yeah, his presence is just is amazing, and I've always been just so impressed with him in this series. Let's see, what was he saying? Yeah, he was trying to get Mando to, like, to come in as sheriff. And I was like, no, I got things I need to do.
Yeah, what does he need a job for? You know, that's a job. He's, you know, this is Mandalorian. This is the Mandalorian here. You can't tie him down.
No, bounty hunters got to keep moving. Of all people, Grief should know that, but he's probably just like, I'm gonna give him the hard sell, you know, anyway, and try to see if I can sway his opinion.
You and the little one can settle down.
Yes, you notice pushing that, you know, perfect
here.
Choice property, just you know.
Oh, that's a great picture right there too. The great angle. And little Grogu on the side, so cute.
He's like, yes, that's my friend. And of course, Mando was just like, he's my friend. And there's only one droid that I would trust to take with me, to Mandalore. And it's just like somewhere in there is IG-8, IG-11. It's like, well, what's left of them. And they're talking about, okay, we can basically try to reboot him.
Yeah.
Maybe this is just me, but I knew this was going to be a bad idea.
Me too.
I didn't know. I didn't know what was going to happen, and it scared the crap out of me.
It's scary, but yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
It was scary, but I knew it was going to happen because I was like, they're going to mess up and they have to fail. Because I mean, it just would be too convenient that he would just be like back to normal.
Oh yes, I missed you, my friend. Where do you want me? Where do you want me to? Where do you want me to go? But it's just like when you see, like the first time when we see IG-11, he is the freaking Terminator.
Yes,
and it just like it was like it's a 50-50, but it's like, come on, knowing what this is, an assassin droid. This is not an astromech droid.
Well,
this isn't
the lock on him. What is it? The
restraining bolt. Yeah.
Oh.
He doesn't have that. He is specifically the type of droid for only one purpose, and that's killing. So this is like a killing machine. This is like a 50-50 chance on resurrecting a Terminator. I mean, it's like it could work, it could not work, but I was just I don't know.
And you couldn't put the bolt on him if you wanted him to also protect you as well, right?
That's correct.
So
yes.
they can't just, if anybody's out there who's like, well, just put the bolt on him. Then he becomes just like all of the other droids, but they want that droid that's going to also protect as well. And it was so sweet when Din was like, he's my friend. And I was like, oh,
we can do this.
Yeah, he was one scary fast. I was like, wow, he moves pretty fast. Run. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is not going to end well, considering what it used to be. Because remember, his program, we went from I'm an assassin droid to I'm a protector droid, and like you ladies were saying, it's like two different sides of the same coin. Are you purposely going out to kill people, or you're only killing people that are a threat to what it is that you're protecting? So that programming, I'm just like, I would have been behind a glass. There's no way. Do you think that Din was just being too hopeful?
I have no idea what he was thinking, but he's not a droids expert.
No.
Hell no. That's the kind of stuff you leave to. That's like an amateur trying to defuse a bomb. You don't do that.
Yeah. And I think one thing for sure is it just shows you how stubborn he can be when he wants something. That he is. It's hard for it was hard for the robot to warm up to him. Remember that he just didn't trust any robot.
That's right.
Finally, he trusted this one robot. And that opened him up a little bit to trust other robots, but he wants that one because that one was his friend. And I was like, oh man, touch me in my heart.
He sure did. The way he went out, yes, they did rip off a Terminator for that, but I didn't care. I did not care. The way he went out, I freaking loved it. But at the same time, I mean, this thing kept coming at them. They're like, shoot it, it's not working.
Yeah.
It's like not a good idea. Not a good idea.
And I was worried for Grogu because I didn't know if that was gonna make him scared of robots or it was gonna make him upset. But he was just fine with it.
He's like, it's okay. My daddy killed it again.
He's he, like in season 1, he had to come up against another droid, and the droid was piloting the ship. It was when they were breaking a bunch of people out of the prison.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Able to handle that very well. But even I that droid, like I was like, what is this about? And I think he's learned about droids while he was in the temple, so he knows who they are, and he's also very good friends with R2-D2, who's told him 411 on like every droid under the sun, I think.
Yeah, probably like, let me tell you about this droid. Protocol droids are a pain in the ass, and they won't let you do anything fun.
Yeah, that's exactly what he told him.
That was a long Uber flight back to Tatooine.
It really was.
So they bring him to the
I love these guys.
I guess this is the droid equivalent of the Geek Squad, I guess.
Yes.
How can I have one of those things? They're so cute.
The Anzellans.
Oh, you have one.
Oh, that's what that is. Her has all the toys.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, he's so cute.
His little hat.
He's Babu Frick, which is not the same character that they're showing you there, but he is an Anzellan.
Okay.
Yeah, I need them in my life.
Yeah. Apparently, so does Grogu. Stop it. Don't do that.
I like this guy.
It looks like you have them size accurate too.
Yeah, this is life size.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Oh, how adorable. How adorable.
Yeah, he has his little tools to fix the astromechs too, or
sweet
tool that he uses. So.
He's all kitted out. Well, I like this Anzellian because he's salty as I don't know what. What do you want? No work. No, he's not work. He's gone. No, not working. Like, what part of not working do you not understand? I did like that because he was just salty. Like, dude, this
And Carl Weathers is like, he says it doesn't work. He says it doesn't work.
He's bending down like he said that doesn't work. I thought this scene was actually pretty funny, and
it was
pretty
good.
much. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, my dear.
And it was flexible.
Yeah,
that's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm in love. I need to marry him.
Yes. Retro Nerd Girl read the rest. That was the complete sentence.
Yeah, I love the whole thing. I mean, I like the whole concept of this, in this teeny tiny little space, and everything is I would say 1/12 scale maybe, or no 1/6 scale possibly.
Yeah, or 1/6 scale sounds about right.
Yeah, 1/6 scale, and he's just like. Mando's just chilling in there, and he really cares. He really cares about what happens to this robot.
A bunch of other robots in there. It looks like the one from the orangey one with the orange stripe is in there, or one that looks like that one against the wall.
Okay.
Far off on the wall. I don't know what kind of droid it is, but they're full-size droids they're working on, which is a lot of work.
Oh.
Isn't it? Like
it is, but also because they're so small, and I'm guessing that they're very small appendages, probably they can do precision operations with putting those droids together.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah. Their hands can reach in small places and just get deal with small wiring and
but they can't deal with Grogu. No.
Did he try to eat one before?
He acted like it was when you see little kids and they see a cat for the first time.
Yes.
And they pick up the cat. And you're like, no, you can't pick up the cat.
Yeah.
And they go and pick up the cat, and the cat is like,
yeah. Or like they squeeze too hard.
Or jump on its tail like my nephew did.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to jump over the cat's tail. No, we were completely wrong. No, it's not. Okay. Yeah, not what he did. It's like you can't take him with you. No, 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 no. Put him down. Put him down. Put him
He's not a pet.
Like, are you serious?
He's like, I could probably just force one. No, I better not. Dad to get
like,
upset.
I can kidnap you. I mean, not. I'll take you with me. But apparently that's not gonna work. Busted, can't fix. If the Anzelians can't find that part, doesn't know who can. So I guess they're trying to find, that one part that they need. So who knows?
It's like a memory chip or something, right?
Something like that. It's some kind of chip or whatever part that it is, in order to bring IG-11 back. But it's like, are you going to bring him back as assassin droid IG-11 or nursemaid IG-11? So maybe that's the question. We'll get answer later on.
I'd like to bring him back as an EDM DJ IG-11, but that's just
He's the DJ in the club. No,
that's right.
We have the best club in the galaxy, in the Outer Rim. I would like to see that, just saying. So Lucasfilm, if you do that, you heard it here first. Heard it here first. So pirates are coming after well, not yet, but I like this part where Mando is pretty much explaining to Grogu, is like, okay, about the bounty hunter business, it's things you need to learn. It's not enough just learn how to fight. You have to know how to get around. You have to know how to navigate. And he's teaching them about the tools and, and everything. And then they find out that, they got pirate bogeys on their tail coming.
Yeah. And it's interesting that the ship did not detect the Purgles in the proximity, even though the Purgles were traveling alongside them. And I don't even know whether it can detect enemies in hyperspace, but the point is that it didn't detect them.
Right.
So I'm guessing not everybody can see them or detect them, not even his ship or anything.
That's a good point.
I don't think so, because are they faster than the speed of light?
Yes.
Yeah, yes. So they won't be able, like, humans can't normally see them. I mean, if they're traveling faster than the speed of light, then and Grogu saw them, that's something,
Yeah,
that's probably because of his abilities,
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's a good point. Very, very good point. Very good point.
Oh, he's so cute.
He's so cute. They're going through the asteroid field.
Okay, this part was really good. And at some point it was like Din was like stalking them. Like, it almost turned into a horror movie because he was like hiding behind asteroids and just shooting down vehicles. I just thought that was really cool. I was like, wow, that's unique. I mean, it's another close call, but it's very Star Warsy. You know what I mean?
Very, because it gave me Empire Strikes Back vibes. Ooh. I thought that I forget the name of the darn monster that was in the asteroid. I thought it was going to come out and like try to eat the ship, but very similar, because Han went right into an asteroid field and they're like, "Are you nuts?" He's like, "Only way we're going to lose them." And they're going through the asteroid field. So that's, especially these scenes, is what I was thinking about.
Yeah, they looked outnumbered, didn't they? They were in trouble. They were under attack. How on earth were they going to get out of this?
Yeah.
Why does this remind me of the reptiles from V?
Yes, or the Sleazaks from Land of the Lost.
Okay, because I'm just like, I've seen this before.
Both. I think both are an excellent match. I hadn't thought about the reptiles from V. It's a very good. It does look like that.
That whole reptilian look, even down to like the eyes and everything. But this was a cool space battle, so I like it. This was something that was missing from the season 2 premiere. You didn't get that like heightened sense of danger or anything that was going on, and Is this Moss Man?
Yeah, it is.
I was trying to figure out what he was exactly. It's, I don't know.
Everybody's comparing it to the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
And Davy Jones with
yeah,
that CGI was much better.
Yeah, and Swamp Thing.
That was my first impression was Swamp Thing.
And I wonder why they picked this kind of a creature for it to be the pirate. But I want to know the backstory. I want to know why, and I want to know all about this creature.
Yeah,
and I'm sure we'll find out at least why they've taken an interest in the Mandalorian and the city. So
exactly, because they desperately wanted. It used to be just someplace on the outer rim that no one cared about. Now, all of a sudden, well, I won't say all of a sudden, they're probably just like, there's a lot of money coming through there. How can I make this work for me?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wasn't really feeling this one particular creature.
Yeah,
it kind of felt unfinished.
Yeah, or out of place.
Yeah.
I mean, I just felt like,
yeah,
if we had sort of a backstory or a lore, this captain pirate that has been stalking the galaxy, and then finally we get to see who he is. That's a little, that gives you a little something. Or maybe if this character showed up in like episode 4, and we had like a little bit more like, oh, you go tell your boss, blah blah blah, and like, well, who's the boss? And this is the boss.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That would have been so much better, because this guy just kind of like showed up, out of nowhere.
It does feel that way.
Yeah. Who this?
I know. New communicator. Who this? But I love Mando's line. He's like, "Never trust a pirate."
Yeah, and he is a few phone calls and messages away from, like, yo, Grief, what up? Like,
I need your favor.
Grief is like, I don't communicate like that anymore.
Yes.
I'm left that right now.
I left that life behind. You point a blaster at me, then that's something a little bit different. So Mando goes to another planet in the Mandalorian system. For some reason, this makes me think of Tony Stark's mansion.
Oh,
when I saw it.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's because it's it's in the cliffside, but that was kind of like the first impression that I thought when I saw it. For some reason, it didn't seem very Star Warsy to me. I can't put my finger on exactly why.
It's has very modernized, sharp angles, so it looks like it could be in our world. But it's a castle, and it's supposed to be. Oh gosh, I heard there is a significance to the design that is in one of the lores.
Okay.
So it's just the fact that it's on this hill that's like also jarring. But yeah,
to me it reminds me of like Darth Vader's castle. Because it was like so somber and gray, and when you get in, it's supposed to be this palace, but it was not joyous. And I'm like, this is like Darth Vader's home, although he has all the lava around him.
Yeah.
This is the home world. This is Bo-Katan's family's home world of, I think it's called Kale Vala. And there it looks like, I mean, honestly, she's in a palace. She wants for nothing. So what's the problem? At least that's how I look at it.
Yeah. She wants everything.
I want it all. I want it all, including the dark saber that you took from me.
And she's broken. She looks broken. She's down and out. She's sad. I want to know, will they give Bo-Katan her Mandalorian mojo back?
I have a feeling that this is partly going to be her arc in this season. And that mural in the back of this picture is depicting the civil war between the Mandalorians. She's bitter. She is so bitter. And this has to be her. I think she's so this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking she's gonna go good, kind of apathetic, then to bad, and then redeemed. Because I think she's psychologically going down a path of depression and bitterness. And there's Mando, the shining star of everything she wants. And yet he doesn't know how to get, or even is desiring the things that she wants. So it's almost like it's in the wrong, she's like, it's in the wrong hands. It should be in my hands, What is he going to do with it?
And also, there's nobody there when he gets there. So none of the people who are around her there. And she's like, oh, they all left me. And I thought to myself, well, they really weren't very faithful to you because they don't have your back, even when things are bad. But then she kind of insults him and tells him that the reason why Mandalore is all messed up is because of factions like Children of the Watch. And I thought to myself, well, wasn't she part of that too? Because her faction, I mean, she was right in the thick of all this stuff when it happened. She didn't even mention her own role in all this. She has to have some kind of responsibility in what happened and why Mandalore was destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah, because that civil war that they had between themselves destroyed the planet before the Empire got their hands on it and did even further damage. And so she is. I mean, I kind of like that the character is like this, but it's not entertaining to watch. You know what I mean?
No,
it's like.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, my dear.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like she's just sitting there, like, get up and do something, everybody. We're all kind of like wanting her to, like, at least find a way to do something that besides just sitting on an empty in a throne in an empty room, no one's there, or everyone's abandoned her.
Yeah, this house is not a home.
Yeah, it's just hard to see her like that, and we know that this queen could do more. You know what I'm saying? She's talented too. She's ridiculously talented, and she's wasting her life away, being upset and bitter.
Yeah, I was just like, this is just one bitter, angry heifer. And you would think that maybe she's destroying stuff, laying into him. Just let's see something. We're just kind of sitting there just like, everybody left me, you got the saber that you can't even use properly.
It's a very kind of like what is that Hollywood that movie with Norma Desmond where she's like, I used to be a star and now I'm not anymore. Like, this is
oh my god, it's on the tip of my tongue. I love that movie.
Hollywood Boulevard, is it?
Yeah, Hollywood Boulevard.
It is Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes.
And I used to be a star and everybody used to love me, and this is what it kind of feels like. And she does need that IG-11 DJ to cheer her up, to to get him in there. People will come back if you bring IG back.
Yeah, I know, but you're right, because she did, and see, this is another piece that I hope that we get a little bit of story on, is how she lost it in the first place. because
recently how
yeah, because she did get it as a gift, which is, they said, it's just weird. It's like, when, well, you know, Jen was trying to give it to her as a gift too, and you know, it somehow it doesn't work that way.
No, you have to win it in battle, I think.
Yeah, you have to win it in battle. And so, but the first time she got it, according to the storyline, she got it as a gift, and
yeah,
and I'm like, okay, how did it work that time and it didn't work this time? And that has to be explained. What happened has to be explained is how she lost it. She had it and then she lost it. How did she lose it? And why did having it the first time didn't work? Like, why wasn't she able to lead the Mandalorians when she had it the first time? So
exactly.
I think there may be some scheming on her part to try to get that dark saber, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'd try to get it back.
I mean, trust me, Dan.
Yeah, you don't need that dark saber. You can't even wield it properly. I'll show you how to use the dark saber. You know. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, nudge. But yeah, it's like the story, and I'm sorry for those of you who are in the EU, where I have not read the novel, so I do not know how Bo-Katan lost the dark saber in the first place. But I agree, Retro Nerd Girl. For those of us who are watching, they need to explain that. They need to show that. So I certainly hope that they do that in this particular season, and I certainly hope they don't have Bo-Katan sulking around like this, because she's not like the Bo-Katan that we first saw. I would think that this chick would be spitting mad and angry.
Yeah,
and she's just like, I'm just here. It's a waste of Katie Sackhoff's talent. Okay.
Yes, she's so good. And you know what? Even in this scene, she is still amazing. Like, her acting is impeccable, and I just love her as in this role.
I do too.
And we need to know how she lost it and what it means to her, to have lost it and not be able to get it back, because that's the emotional piece that I think is sort of like, okay, just get up and try it again. Why isn't she willing to try again? Like, what is the barrier here? So what? That's the missing link. Like, everybody is wondering why, which we need. That means that we are missing some story elements, and they need to amend that stat. You know what I mean?
They really do. It's like they can hang that carrot out of us in front of us for so long, but there needs to be a payoff. And if there isn't one, I'm afraid that what happened with season 2 will happen with this season. I hope they learn their lesson and will pay attention to that particular story, that story thread, to let us know what happened. But in a nutshell, basically, she's just like, screw you, dude, you're on your own. I'm not helping you find a freaking thing.
Yeah.
Well, her attitude towards him is the same as the attitude that the armorer has.
Yes.
They have very similar attitudes towards him. And maybe they kind of resent him, because he is kind of starting to feel like the chosen one, isn't he? It's like things are going towards his direction. And of course, a lot of it is the will of the Force. But my goodness, the armorer and Bo-Katan aren't exactly nobodies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so like, he saved all of the Mandalorians from that beast, and they were like, yeah, okay. There was no like, yay, celebration, thank you for doing that awesome thing. It was like unceremoniously
like, yeah, you're okay. Back.
Yeah,
he's back, y'all. Whatever.
Again?
Yeah. I thought that maybe it was going to be some kind of storyline between Din Djarin and this new like initiate, you know, like, do you know what you're getting on into? And they're like, no, don't talk to him. He's not a real, you know, he's not a real Mandalorian. I thought that there was going to be some kind of intrigue with that, because why? Okay, I get it that they wanted to show the Crockett Gator, but I was thinking maybe it was something bigger than that, because you notice that kid did not finish the entire oath. He did not finish it.
Yes. Yes.
So I was thinking, oh, if this is Din Djarin, maybe that's an out for him. You didn't really agree to the whole thing, right? You didn't say the whole thing. But yeah, that initiate did not say the whole thing. So I thought that that was maybe going to be a big part of this episode. So if they did that just to show the brig Crockett Gator and didn't do that in order for like some kind of story that makes us find out more about Din Djarin, it really is a wasted opportunity.
Yeah. And that's how, unfortunately, that's the downfall of this episode for me, was like, and not to mention, I had just watched the first 2 seasons and the Boba Fett stuff, and I was like, this feels off. I loved all the fact that there were so many different adventures. I think there were like 4 different adventures stuffed into 30 minutes. I was like, dang, everything. Oh, the pacing was fast.
Yeah, very.
And I love that. But I'm like, I pray and hope that there is going to be callbacks to all of this stuff that they're breezing past, because I need that in my veins, like, seriously. You know, I need the good story. I need it to be, you know, it's the setup is right there, right? It's presented itself. We see all of these pieces that we're like, okay, how are they going to weave all of this into a story that we're going to, at the end of this, say, wow, that was great. And so it's now really basically like waiting for each episode to see what happens next. So that was the one like drawback for me, was like I felt like, okay, well, where's this going? Instead of feeling like, wow, what a ride, you know, because that's the feeling I was missing, was like, that was fantastic. I can't wait till next episode. Was what I wanted to feel, but instead I was like, I had more questions this time. Like, okay, well, how's that working? Okay, how's that? Okay, so that was something that really stood out to me a lot, was just the structure of the story for this episode.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think this is another situation where he's now, again, the second person knows he's doing this Pandora's box thing. And I think Bo-Katan is probably thinking to herself, well, he managed to get the Darksaber, you know, and not know anything about it. He managed to get this little creature, Grogu. He managed to do all these things that are impossible. She's like, yeah, just go for it. You know, this, go. But some people have been saying that she may end up just following him. She has anything better to do. Why not follow him? If he dies and she finds the Darksaber, maybe she can get it that way. I don't know.
I didn't even think about that. Great concept. I like it.
I do too.
Yeah, just tag along, you know.
Just sneak, you know, lay it in the cut. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, I see him. I'll see him. We'll let him take the hit first.
Yeah. No, you go first.
Yeah, by all means, you know, you've got the Darksaber back. Why don't you go and, you know, go and do this? But it will be interesting to see what happens in episode 2. So I would ask you, ladies, out of a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this episode?
I give it a 9 out of 10. But I also wanted to mention that I personally think at this point in the story that Paz Vizsla is more likely to challenge Mando to getting the Darksaber than, and he's been the one who's really even gotten two fights with him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
also defending him, you know, like, and I think that the relationship between the two of them is maybe more realistic relationship that Mandalorians have with one another. They challenge each other for authority, but when push comes to shove, if you attack all of them, you know, you're going down. You're going, like, they all come together, then they'll fight. But he fought him in season 1. They got into a fight because he didn't like the way the Mandalorian, what he did with this baby and this whole thing. He didn't like any of that stuff. And he also didn't like, Paz Vizsla also didn't like that the Mandalorian had the Darksaber, because he's like, hey, that's my family's heritage, because I think it was his family, Vizsla, that created the Darksaber. So he's looking at it as that doesn't belong with him. This guy isn't even real Mandalorian by bloodline, and I am. Maybe he isn't. Maybe he isn't. But you know what, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Higher stake than Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan just really wants the power. She wants people to go ahead and call her the head of all the Mandalorians. But if she never got the sword and they still had her back, this is the problem right here. Even though she doesn't have the sword, she can't convince them that she's a true leader, and she should just be able to convince them that she's a leader anyway, because her sister was able to convince that she was a leader, I think, at the time, even though she wasn't fighting. So I think it's very interesting that thing.
And I think she even saw Darth Maul do pretty much the same thing with the Darksaber, that he had it for a while and people did what he told them to do. And so I think that's why she's like, just wave it around and people will listen to you. And obviously they're not, because when he goes to hang out with the Watch, they're like, yeah, look at this guy. You know, they don't even pay attention to him. So yeah, it's a tricky situation. I love the inner, all the different groups and all of this. It's almost like a political intrigue, but also like infighting amongst the sect. They really should be working together. You know, I mean, and to be very honest, everybody should be working together so they can grow strong again. But because of this infighting, they're disenfranchised. They're completely living on the outskirts of society, basically, and it's hurt them in the long run. So,
all right. So, what would you give it?
Oh, what would I give it? I would give it an 8.5. I did adore, like, the certain things, but there were certain moments. There were too many questions that I had for me to give it a higher score, but I did love it. Of course, the quality is there with the special effects, and just look at that picture right there with the set. That's a set, that's an actual set design. I know that they use the volume for a lot of things, but there's a lot of things that they're actually building, all of the practical puppetry and that's really, look, I don't know what it is about puppets. They look so cool, and they really, it puts a smile on my face. It makes me think like they're actually real. Like I could actually grab them. And for some reason yes. He had the right idea. Grab those things. And also like, the croc, for instance. I wish it was a little bit more fantasy, like maybe they put some like horns on them or something like that. But man, doesn't it look like a real thing?
Yes.
Like it really it's taking up the real space. Like, so it's and all of the activity around it, and to animate the water and all that takes a lot of artistry. So as far as quality in this series, it's top notch, and bordering on, and I would not even say bordering, it is cinematic. It is cinematic. So the very high quality. Just the story is just starting, and so I'm giving it a lot of credit, and at the same time I'm also feeling like I wish it was a little tighter as far as like being able to bridge the gap between season 2 And the first episode, we shouldn't have to watch Boba Fett to find out what happens to
Agreed.
in the story. So it sort of takes you out of the rhythm the uh, of the show to have to go to a different show to find out what happened, and sort of
Exactly.
piece together these pieces. And also, listen, you have to find, in order to know that it's been 2 years, you've had to have seen the reports of was Dave Filoni saying that, hey, it's been 2 years, and it's like that should have been told to us in the story, or even a little something that said 2 years later or something. Let the story speak for itself, and not you have to actually explain things outside of the content. You know what I'm saying? So,
I
so
get
yeah,
you.
that's it.
I get you. Well, you ladies have both said some really, really interesting points with your ratings. I know I myself, I will give this one actually an 8 out of 10. Visually, I love what I'm seeing, especially compared to the Book of Boba Fett. That it looked like it was phoned in. But with the Mandalorian, you can see where the money went, especially with the set design, of course, with the CGI for the Croc monster, even the costuming. When you look at Grief Carla's costume, when you look at that, it's very rich, it's very detailed. The color stands, this color stands out. The little droids he's got, holding his Huggy Bear, cape in, cape in the back, everything from the protocol droid as like, the salesman for sales pitch for why Navarro
Oh, great, yeah.
is so great. How different Navarro looks compared to the way that it used to, and especially that opening scene. I was actually really, really pleased with that. Again, a couple of story elements that I think they could have done better, made a little bit more exposition. It may be that they're setting it up to pay off a little bit later on in the series. I hope that they do. I hope we didn't see throwaway scenes. So I certainly hope that that's not the case. But all in all, the story worked for me as a season opener. It does exactly what a season opener should do: grab you, pull you in, make you have questions, and make you want to see the next episode, to see what is going to happen. So I think they actually did a fairly good job of this. I love Katie Sackhoff. She pulled it off, even though she's salty Bo-Katan in this one. So hopefully that will change, and she'll get a little bit more fired up. But yeah, overall, I give it an 8 out of 10. I am glad that the Mandalorian is back. The Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi did not do it for me, so I'm so glad that the show is back.
I agree, and you're right about it, like wanting to watch the next episode. I can't wait for the next episode.
Yeah, I really want to see what they decide to accentuate for the second episode, because it feels like 4 storylines are starting to brew, and and it's like, and then sort of so I want to see which one they pick, and how they want to go about, like, showing it to us. And I hope that they make the landing. They hit the landing.
I hope they stick to landing, because
I really do. As I mean, I literally, before watching the first episode, binge watched everything, and it was like, wow, this is really juicy. And then I was like, okay, I hope it was sort of like, just trying to find where the groove was going to be.
Yeah.
And so, and just as this is the first episode, so I'm not going to judge it too harshly. they still have the main elements that are really important to me, which
Mm-hmm.
is Mando is Mando, and Grogu is in the picture. That's basically what I came for, and that I hope that the story, is as rich as it was in at least the first and the second seasons, uh, and they continue on the pace of telling good stories.
Yes, that's it. Tell a good story. Keep telling us good stories to hook us in and to continue to make us want to tune in and watch. So I certainly hope that that is going to be the case with episode 2 of season 3 of The Mandalorian. Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
Well, one thing that I was going to say about this is that we desperately need to see Grogu having a more profound role in the series, and it's supposed to be 2 years later. He's had some training. I think it's fine that he looks cute, and I do love seeing him look cute in the show, but there has to be actions to his consequences. It can't be where, you know, someone tries to bother him and then he flips them off and they go flying somewhere. There has to be some gravity to the fact that he's so powerful in the Force and he can do these things that he can do. So there has to be some level of importance to his role as a Force user. And we need to see that in this season.
Yeah, in other words, not use it as a gimmick, but something that's truly real, that has real consequences if he doesn't use it the right way. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely hear you on that.
Yeah.
Well, folks, that is going to wrap it up for this very detailed and deep dive of episode 1 of season 3 of The Mandalorian, the episode called The Apostate. I want to thank my guests here on the panel, Retro Nerd Girl and her of Positive Fandom. Please do me a favor, subscribe to both of these ladies. They have amazing channel. Her with, of course, like her Sunday brunch, her gaming streams, all her figures and the toys and stuff. I'm usually drooling when she's bringing that stuff out. So definitely
cute.
check out her channel. Definitely check out Retro Nerd Girl's channel. So many videos for throwback movies, TV series, especially when it comes to sci-fi. And I do believe you're having a watch party series of Sinbad.
Yes, Ray Harryhausen's. Yes, Sinbad. Saturdays this month. So yeah, that'll be coming every Saturday this month.
Man, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Between that, you've got doing gaming streams of Hogwarts Legacy as well, my dear.
Oh, those are good. She's so good at it.
Thanks for helping me. No, you guys are always helping because I get stuck on stuff. So thank you for helping me. I appreciate it.
No problem. It's a joy. It's a joy watching. Enjoy watching. So again, folks, thank you so much for being here. Please do hit that like button, subscribe to These Two Ladies on the panel, and of course myself if you're so inclined, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.